opened the windows, which makes me very cold. And I'm going to have to take my sheep and shut the door because I need to keep warm. I don't want them wasting my... I can't. They're going to say leave it open. So I'm going to have to shut my bedroom door, which is not in fact a bedroom, it's an office room in the hallway. Shut my door. They're wasting. That radiator is rusty and it's broken, no electricity. I've asked them to paint and they didn't really want to. They looked at me as if to say, we shouldn't paint. There's a handprint on the wall. That's from their workers, it's not from me. So I said it's disgusting, it all needs painting. And sealing it properly. And the floor that was ordered by a man called Charlie, wooden floor, to match the wooden floor. They'll probably come up here with a vinyl. They have to clean the floor as well properly because as a disabled person, I can only do so much. I can only do so much. Make sure that any straw that was here, I'm sweeping any straw. I don't have a hoover because my money's been stolen and gobbled up by this crisis. If it wasn't for the crisis, I could have bought a new hoover by now. So all that straw I have removed. And I've provided them a doorstop, real sheep. So they have to clean all that paint or whatever else they have to do to clean it before they apply. I did ask for the similar type of floorboards, but they'll probably give me a vinyl. So it is a total nightmare. So to keep warm, I have to shut my door. So I do have central heating, which is going to be wasted today. And boxes and things in this, which is my sitting room. That's the stain that they're talking about on the ceiling, which was my hair dye 6 years ago. I've been asking them to do it. So in here, I have my heater, which is in the corner, and it's probably tied up. And the wire for this is connected. So that means I'll have to unplug it in order to bring my little heater in that little room to keep warm, because there was snow on the ground the other day. There you go, it's plugged in. Oh, everything's collapsing. Okay, it's now unplugged. Oh God, that's so painful for me. Ow. Oh, Jesus. Literally. So I now have freedom, but something else had fallen. So I've actually blocked them from... No, it seems to be jammed. It's jammed on something else. Something else is holding this back. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I can't figure out what it is. Loads of tins stocked up for the winter. What is stopping this? Something's stopping it. I have no idea what it is. This is an extension lead. Everything's falling to pieces. Oh God. I can't. I have to sit down or something. What is stuck? Oh, it's my rosemary for my feet treatment. It's stuck underneath the tins. It's very painful for me as this is. There, I've got it. That was a bastard. Oh my God. I need to sit down for a minute. I'm in absolute agony. Oh. Oh my God. That is so sore. Oh, turn the camera on to me. So my central heating is wasted today because I've opened both of the windows. I have no central heating. Not going to be compensated for it, I'm sure. So my central heating is on very weak mode. But being disabled, I have very bad problems with circulation, and I've never in my life had so much pain. Apart from the time when I had a broken leg, and pelvis and arm. I have a scar to prove it. So all of this is the same as being hit by a car. Because I have a lot of pain in my spine. Bending, standing, even sitting is very painful. But I am able to do more things than I was. And I'm still shaking like a leaf here, trying to move things about and without damaging any of my resources, which the enemy has destroyed. Even the very crumbs I have to live on, they've destroyed. And added insult to injuries. So I've got to try and lift this because I can't get out. Loads of boxes to move. That's got to go over there. All my animals had died in this crisis. And it's very, very bad. I mean, I've been so stressed by it. Too stressed that it even dropped my chopping board. Here's a chopping board that has been cut over here because it dropped, and it caused too much hustle for me to add to the harassment too. God. Every year they cause a problem. They cause both financial crisis and many problems that it's not my responsibility, and they've made it my responsibility, which is a crime or fraud. It's a crime. It's a crime of many things connected to this landlord. And to me, they came across as professional, but the professional service is there for homeowners. It's not there for non-homeowners. And the longer I've lived here, the more unprofessional they become intentionally to get me to leave. So, every time their operatives or workers step their foot in my home, something goes wrong. Some insult is added, some lie is added, all of which I don't want, and I'm forced to have that which is what I don't want to have. Because of my disability and being fragile, they've taken advantage of that. And they have this horrible policy that they have to come into my home to do a gas annual safety check. Not all social landlords do that. So I need to find out in future what other type of landlord I can move into that doesn't do that. At my other home where I used to live for 10 years didn't do that. So I find it very invasive, intrusive, that they're controlling my conveniences, they're controlling my resources. It's very much based on bureaucracy, so that the building is more important than the body of the tenant, especially those who are claiming state benefit. So all of this crisis that has happened with a water tank exploding, which is dysfunctional, there's no evidence that they have replaced that water tank. I'm still using it as a patched up second-hand water tank. They're boasting that they're building new buildings on the opposite of this building, so they're providing them new water tanks. And I'm very suspicious that it's done deliberately, that somebody had gone into the loft, damaged those water tanks and pipes. Still have no confirmation I have a new one. Still have no confirmation in the letter which states I had this flood since April. Still have nothing. I had requested it over and over again and been ignored. Now I'm requesting it through my solicitor, who will ensure that they do their jobs properly, who will also look at the considering my compensation and what I had to endure and how everything had gone into chaos because of this crisis, and how I was forced to stay under a ceiling that was buckled like this, like an upside down umbrella, for about 6 months. And then I had to move my own mattress because there was no one to move my bed. And then they changed their minds and said, I'm severely disabled, why won't you help me? So 8 months later, they changed their minds, but there's no confirmation in writing that they will help me move my furniture. I have to pay for it because they keep changing their minds. One minute they say they'll help, the next minute say they won't help. It's very unpredictable. So I do need all of these things in writing, confirming, particularly in a crisis, to be professional. So far, they're extremely unprofessional and accusing. So I'm still waiting for that letter. Can you move my furniture once the first bedroom the one bedroom one has been finished, hopefully today or tomorrow, to move everything out of the bedroom 2 into bedroom 1 for free of charge? I need you to confirm that, because the flood is not my fault. I want it to confirm it in writing. So I've asked that over the telephone, and I've also written it as a written request through my landlord. So I was forced because no one moved my bed. I kept asking, they kept ignoring me for about 6 to 8 months, and then it came to the total of 9 months. I became very ill with a thrush rush connected to the bathroom that hasn't been fixed for 3 years. They gave me a report for the asbestos test. They gave me an agreement to refurbish the bathroom. Just shut the door so they don't see me. That was in 2024 to 2025. A whole year had gone by with broken agreements and confused chaos. Again, they came and did the windows in the kitchen and the windows in the bathroom. They didn't prioritise the floor, and they didn't prioritise that it's a refurbishment. It became another repair. So they're constantly lying. They don't have a honesty policy. And that's why I'm publicising it, to say that look how much of this hostile environment has been enabled by the landlord to favour the house owners and to disfavour and disservice those who are homemakers, unemployed, sick and disabled, which is a human rights abuse, and other things that I'll keep to myself between me and my solicitor. So it's caused me a lot of harm. It's caused me a lot of harassment, horror. It didn't feel like my home. It felt like a concentration camp of tyrants. That ceiling polystyrene could have not polystyrene, plasterboard could have collapsed on my head and could have killed me. Life threat, death threat. So I was desperate. I waited for about 5 months. They didn't do what they agreed. So I struggled moving my own mattress to sleep on the floor. So that's from, I think it was from August, September, October, November, December, until today. The 8th of January, I moved my mattress to the office room, which is in the corridor hallway, which had never been affected by a flood or crisis emergency. So I'm still sleeping on the floor and waiting for the worker as a backup, which I already prepaid, to move my 8 pieces of furniture from bedroom 2 and get him to do all of this. And then I'll be reimbursed, hopefully. Or I could get the operatives and the workers of my landlord to move the 8 pieces of furniture free of charge, as they agreed. But I'm so used to them breaking their agreements so many times. 3 years of my bathroom, 1 year of both badly damaged, flooded bedrooms. The pumps in the bathroom keep breaking up every 2 years, causing a flood to the neighbour below because the water has an overflow. The pump stops working, the drainage stops working, and all the water overflows in the bathroom, making puddles. And it happens so many times in the 14 years I've lived here. And was it 12 to 14 years? Oh, something like that. And so ever since I came here, which was December 2013, as a social tenant, sole tenant of 2-bedroom properties, my daughter lived with me. She moved on. Why should I pay an over-occupancy fee when I signed as a sole tenant? That was the agreement. And yet they've come to break that agreement, which is breaking the law, which is breaking my tenancy agreement. It's an overreach. It's a breach of my tenancy agreement. And so they insisted, they bullied me, they oppressed me, they financially bullied me and made me pay. In May, which was tragic, I had no money for food. I had to rely on a food bank for free food. I paid full rent, even though I didn't have to, in May, to just silence them and to just say, I am a responsible tenant, I am paying my rent, and I am claiming housing benefit. If the New World Order says I don't, if the globalist system says I don't, it is unfair, because it's attacking my sovereignty, it's attacking this nation and the pre-existing protections I already have as an unemployed occupying tenant. It's stripping away my civil rights and my pre-existing protections. And it's not fair. So if we do have a government, if we do have a parliament, if we do have civil rights in this country, I stand up for my rights by doing this video. And also making an appeal as a Christian, committed, devout woman to say that people must stop voting for globalists. I believe in supporting international countries and helping them, but not to help them more than helping myself to recover. And then after I have recovered, I can help them more than myself. That's the principle I live by. We don't want to be hostile to other nations. We want to be able to not create civil war, unrest, and World War III, because this is their agenda. which is totally satanic. It's out of this world. It's monstrous. It's horror. To have war all the time. Mention that. Rumour that. And so be it. If there is a World War III, then it gives me the excuse to go and attack all those who have attacked me. I would, physically. I swear to God, because I've had enough of them attacking me physically and me having to suffer in silence. But I don't want it to come to that, because at the end of the day, if you have World War III, no one wins. No one wins. Not even those who are in bunkers, hiding. No one wins in any world war or civil war situation. And these tyrants who are monsters do insist that they do win. Eventually they get caught, who practice human rights abuses as tyrant victims, tyrant monsters. So, all of the things that I've done in the duration of sleeping in an empty bedroom just to check everything is all right. And I'm glad I did, because as I was sleeping in an empty bedroom on a single mattress on the floor, I did that because I wanted to make sure that my office room, my new bedroom, is thoroughly cleaned and dry. So as I was doing that, I noticed drips. On the 19th of December, I called them out to make sure that the loft is dry, and they found 2 puddles in the loft. They dried it up, they fixed it, and it should have been done. It was done on the 19th of December 2025. It should have been done in April and May, before the summer holidays, and it wasn't done. So they've damaged the new ceiling with the dripping leak in the duration between April, when the floods first occurred, all the way through to December. Now that is unprofessional. Misconduct, mistreatment, and also targeting me. It's a target. Oh, it's only Miss Nicholas. It's only Miss Punch. It's so much disrespect, and for the kindness I have been towards them about their convenience and their resources, they've accused me for the very things that they're doing that's wrong, such as damage to this property and their bureaucracy. So, in these references to what's happened with the housing crisis, as I'll probably title this video, I never had family apart from my mum having a cesarean at birth. Here we go, cesarean. This is how you spell it. Because I was a breech baby, like a bridge, I refused to come out from down there. She was a virgin, my dad was a virgin. It didn't make them purer. And then they made me. I was the firstborn. And it didn't make them love me anymore compared to the other children that they have. I only have one other child from my father, no other children from my mother, because she married 5 or 7 times, had lots of partners. So she's hated me for the fact that she was ripped open for me to come into the world, for the fact that I was a girl and not a boy, and for the fact that I look more like my dad than I did her. So this is narcissistic, toxic type of parents, dysfunctional parents. And they never provided to me financial support or emotional support. And it was very abusive, my childhood. And so the government was aware of this, and they came to help me and provided me a British citizenship. and protection from my relatives. Because of my mum, she was also made to leave England because she did very bad things in England as a criminal. So they will not allow my mum to return to England. So she provided me choices to help her to get the visa to come and live in England again, which I said no, because I would be incriminated if I did that. So the only interest that they had in me is to get a visa to come to England from former Yugoslavia to come and live in England. And I said no, because I'm independent, I have my own living, have my own life. And I declined no. I said no. This is my home. And they hated me for this, which is not a true parent. Now, as regards to me being a parent to my one and only daughter, she disowned me. She rejected me after I've worked so hard for her for 10 years of my life, including family law court, which was the only court I ever had to go to. I almost won, but because I have no family, I lost. Yes, I've got PG Tips tea bags there. Yeah. So this is the reason why I'm not interested in my daughter, because she hasn't shown me any interest or respect that I deserve. And I cannot accept to be her parent unless she accepts it. I said I would accept it until she's an old woman, really old, retiring age. I am your mum. I'm your biological mum. I'll accept it if you accept it. But she won't accept it because they've turned my daughter against me through my ex-mother-in-law, through Children's Social Services, through corrupt authorities. And the same corrupt authorities that have been watching me since I was age 11, going to a boarding school, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 16, I was homeless. 17, I came to live with a Catholic foster mum. So I had no sexual intercourse with anyone. I was separated from my fiancé, who was also very abusive. My foster mum didn't know about it. I didn't want to confide in her about the abuse because I didn't feel that there was that love. But if there was love, it was a type of an agape love. It wasn't the type of love that's between a mother and daughter, like that type of love. So she was embarrassed of me, I noticed, and so I decided. And she also wanted me to somehow lose my faith in God, because she was losing her faith in God. And then suddenly, when the tables turned, she spent more time with my daughter from age 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 than I did. And so she suddenly had faith in God because of the fact that she had like a mothering type and a youthful type, while she condemned me and accused me. Well, I felt like I was becoming old because they've stolen my livelihood, my parental rights, my daughter's birth rights, my freedoms, my sovereignty. They've stolen all of that through Children's Social Services, empty speculations. Everything that they have said about me emotionally abusing my daughter, me expecting my daughter to be perfect, is totally false and fraud. Because they're against legal migrants living in England, they come to target my one and only child. If I was a rich migrant, they wouldn't, but because I'm a poor migrant, they did. And it all happened at this address. So they've destroyed everything. Everything they've destroyed. And so from the moment of conception, my husband at the time rejected my daughter. He abused the daughter from the time that she was born. He was not careful. He dropped her many times. He very rarely cleaned her. I was the one doing all the cleaning. I was the one who was cleaning the home, doing everything like a donkey. Well, he did nothing. Very, very little thing. He never drove a car. If he provided child maintenance, he moaned and complained about it. So he somehow sneakily reduced his child maintenance, the amount he paid. He was also disabled. He had severe pain in his shoulders and in his knees, and he never claimed benefit allowance because he wanted to remain employed to the point of death when they had to do a surgery on a bypass on his heart. He was deteriorating because he worked too much and he did not receive benefit money to recover and recuperate from his illnesses, which is cuckoo. So he designed his own suicide. He overdosed on pills during his bypass surgery. I told him not to. I made an appeal on social media for the government to find that conversation on that telephone number, which I provided, to say, please help. I don't know if they did help. If they did find that conversation, they probably deleted it as evidence that he told me he was going to pop himself. It's a designed secret suicide. He only told me on the phone, no one else. So he overdosed on his pills that he wasn't supposed to take during his bypass heart surgery. How his heart failed was not because of lack of exercise. It was because he kept overdosing, kept taking too many alcohol pills, and it caused a failing to his heart. And so he actually designed his own suicide. While being with him, I was tortured at a mental health services for a wrong diagnosis and wrong treatment, which was paranoid. I'm not paranoid. I am post-traumatic stress disordered. I have had very bad insomnia. And so they've attacked me with wrong treatments, wrong psychotic drugs, the very things that they made me have. Like Jesus had a label, the King of the Jews. How they mocked him, these bad officials. They did the same thing to me. The Queen of the mental health house. So they labelled me wrongly. They treated me wrongly for 10 years. They said, if you don't take our pills, we will, even if you're allergic, we will inject you like a big spider, freaky spider. So this stopped my fertility. This attacked my liver, my lungs, and all my internal organs. It made me add on weight from dress size 8 to dress size 22. And currently I have no way out. It's a dead end. It's systemic abuse. It's racial profiling. It's overtaking my social media. It's putting me in the vulnerable category, not as a lone survivor, but as a victim, victimizing me to be a victim. My home has become as a type of a political stage rather than a home. It's about bureaucracy. It's about their personal possessions. So they've made me into their possessions. It's about the building. It's not about the body of the people living in these buildings. So both are important when it comes to finances in business. However, not one more than the other. It should be balanced. It should be fair. So all of this has been a total disaster of my life of 30 years or 4 decades since my childhood. Never having justice. It's injustice on top of injustice because of bad leaders, because of bad authorities, bad spies, bad stalkers, and unfriendly, hostile. Competing with what? What have they got to compete with? It's like they're competing over something that is like the robber coming in an empty house. That's how I would describe it. So I'm closing my video as Mima. I was known for 4 decades as Maya Maria. That's my birth certificate. And I've changed it because of my bad parents who had abandoned me in a foreign country, neglected me, abused me. I gave them a second chance when I was in my 40s, early 40s, not late 40s. And they became worse. So I said, well, I'm never going to rest with them. I won't be able to rest with them. The same as these builders, the same ones who have destroyed me are the same ones who are rebuilding probably. The same one who has arranged the kidnapping of my daughter through stirring is probably the same official that came to make an agreement, to break the agreement regarding my bathroom, who is called Samantha. So it's overwhelming how much they have overturned, overpowered, outnumbered, and I have to grin and bear it. I have to put up with it to survive. But if I had the money, and God knows, if I had the strength and I wasn't disabled, I would definitely retaliate. I would definitely fight. Even to the point of being tempted to murder someone. That's how I feel. Because they've separated my family, they've destroyed my daughter's life, they've spilled innocent blood, they've caused me to be ill recently with this thrush rush that could become a blood poisoning from a rotten bathroom. There's a lot of rot in this corrupted system. There needs to be an honesty policy in this system. There needs to be showing people mutual respect. I've showed them respect. They didn't show me any. From the 22nd of August 2024, when they visited me for 2 hours, it was total bad opportunity by Samantha, who is the leader. So she's caused all of this. Ever since she's come here, she's robbed me of my civil rights, this official. They've robbed me of my fertility. They've robbed me of my possibility to use the internet to find my first time lover, to be possibly engaged and get married. But in my terms, getting married in a registry office or in a church could be the worst thing anyone can do when you've got government monitoring you there through certificates. Because in a Christian sense, marriage, it's the other way around. I've done a video for that. To find that video regarding marriage for sex versus sex for marriage, and how this toxic culture had removed the true Christian message for a false fraud Christian or false fraud religion in closing. So this is why I've changed my name, not only because I was unloved and abused as a child, but because I want a new future, the one where I am damaging all of this, control damage all of this, to mima her punch. It's early New Year 2025, 2026. Is it? Or are we going backwards?